there's still certain countries that recruit a lot of students from these countries that we still experience a high level of apathy from.
That is the only cog in the wheel right now.
As agents, we also need to start thinking critically, not just emotionally.
What can we begin to do to either prepare ourselves for some of these shocks?
The truth of the matter is this buck stops with the embassy.
2021 and 2024, things shifted. We now have such a proliferation of agents that have no training, no information.
Universities need to improve on how they communicate. Embassies need to sit up, like you said. They need to also do what they should do.
Please do your research.
Do your research.
This is already an ideal
process
plan.
Is already working.
It's an ideal plan.
It's just
so
at that
what
point.
is the problem? Can you tell us?
This is TINE Africa Podcast. The new sound of international education in Africa.
Hello again and welcome to another episode of TINE Africa Podcast. My name is Louis Adekola and this is where we talk about everything that has to do with international education in the continent of Africa. I'm so delighted to be here and to be talking about a very important topic. This topic is very, very crucial, very important at this time, especially because we as counsellors, as representatives of universities, student counsellors in schools, student counsellors in agencies, work with students who are constantly traveling, seeking opportunities to travel to places. However, students will not be able to move from where they are to another point, most of the cases without a student visa. And in recent times, we've realized that, or we've experienced a lot of challenges that students face in getting these visas, in utilizing the visas that they have. And sometimes it comes with a high level of delay, sometimes even refusal, and sometimes justifiable cases of, limitations that students face. So today, we're going to be doing our best to talk about these things, some of these challenges, some of the things that students can do in order to prepare themselves for the visas that they want to apply for, but also ensuring that we also talk about some of these challenges in a way that we can make our recommendations and our thoughts in terms of what should be and what can be in this case. So today we're going to be speaking about a topic that we call doors wide shut, navigating the challenges with visa with African students. And I am so privileged to be sitting with two amazing guests, two people that I've worked with, I've learned from, I have had the privilege of understanding a bit of how they work and really just, inspired by the work ethic and their contributions to the industry. Today, I'm joined by my left is my first guest, who is a veteran in the industry and someone that as I say, a mentor to mentors, someone who has counsellors. And you'll know that in the course of this conversation. Her name is Adebowale Oriafo, who is the Regional Manager, Nigeria and wider Africa at Coventry University. I'm going to say that in the course of this conversation, we are going to get used to saying Mama D because that's your name.
This is the name you guys have decided to pin on me in the industry. Yeah. I accept it with my full chest.
Exactly. You are the one who give us a lot of nicknames, so you deserve one good one yourself. How does it feel to be here?
Oh, surreal. Okay. And nice at the same time. I've been watching all the podcasts and finally glad to be here with you.
Yes. Excellent. All right, I'm going to also allow you to still do a bit more introduction about yourself as the time goes on. And the next person, Margaret, who is I've worked with Margaret. We literally started in the industry together in the same company. And you're going to get to know a bit more about Margaret. Yeah. Margaret is the president and CEO of Visa Support Global. My president. My president. How does it feel to be here?
It's a pleasure. It's a privilege as well. I've always been impressed with the kind of work you've done.
Thank you.
I have been aware of the TINE podcast. Being here is everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that means so much to me. Thank you. And to the team, not just to me, because I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of work that goes into producing this podcast, and it means a lot to us when colleagues in the industry, when students, when alumni, parents, and even service providers and government officials, watch this podcast, because it means that we're doing something important, and it means so much to us. So thank you for being a supporter of the work that we're doing.
Thank you.
All right. As I said, we're going to kick off the conversation with your introduction, and I want us to do a little bit of your journey in the industry, and we'll try to keep all this because I've got lots of questions for you. So let's keep the responses short. All right. Let's start with your journey. In the number of years that you've worked in the industry, what is one lesson that has kept you going? Maybe an experience or a journey that has kept you going so far.
So,
and feel free to say anything I didn't say about your roles.
Don't worry, you've clocked it.
Okay. Clock it.
You've clocked it. So for me, I would say I'm one of the few people in the industry presently that can say I actually landed where I wanted. Initially, I didn't. So to give you a backstory, my first degree was in sociology, which we all know is the study of man in his environment.
Yeah.
And there's a module there that has psychology in it, which is the study of the man and his ways, character, how you are formed as a person.
Yeah.
And I got out of school and went to work at some auditing firm, didn't fit in, worked at May and Baker, didn't fit in. And then I got the opportunity of this job. And funny enough, it was a mistake. It was one of those job interviews where you just say, okay, you know what, let me just do it. And then I did it. I got it.
Okay.
I was shocked that I got it. And then when I started, it was really interesting because this was now me doing what I like to do, which is gist, and basically you're gisting with your friends, your colleagues turn friends.
Yeah.
And then you also talk with students. You're helping students, you're helping their parents. You're not just helping the students most of the time, because I know we say a lot of students. The parents also get educated by us.
Absolutely.
So I think that's one place that people don't understand that we really work out and help with, because you would see scenarios where a student doesn't really know what they're doing. Their parents are making all the decisions, but then going back to my sociology and psychology, just say, you know what, mom, dad, can you step aside? Student, come. What would you see yourself doing in XYZ time? Get to know their psyche, understand them, and then help them along their path instead of just being handed. Not to be like a quota, but, it's easier to give a man a fish and feed him for a day.
Yeah.
Or if you teach him to fish, then you feed him forever.
True.
So if you let the student who is probably just going in from secondary into undergrad, you just say, oh, mommy, daddy, please, what do you think I should do? It's different from when the student, you ask them, oh, what would you like to do? And please remember, bear in mind, I started way back in 2006 when the computers were not yet fully automated. Things were not fully automated yet. So this was a paper situation, talking to students, reaching out. So there was more of a one-to-one with students a lot, as opposed to now where you have the WhatsApp. I have students in Maiduguri I've never met before. They've gone, but they're a success story today, and that's one thing I love.
Yeah.
I love being a part of their success stories, and I think that's what keeps me going.
Excellent. That's a very good way to capture it, and I like how you make reference to the course that you studied, and I can totally relate with it because I did education myself, and in education you would have philosophy of education, sociology of education, history of education, psychology of education. You do child development and psychology, all of those different elements.
And you see that they work out for you.
Yeah, it does. It does. Over to you, Margaret. What keeps you going in the face of challenges?
What really keeps me going is the Nigerian market is very resilient. No matter how hard the situation gets, no matter what's thrown our way, we bounce back. Somehow we just keep bouncing back. I mean, you remember 2016 when the dollar drastically rose against the naira, and everything seemed very, very bleak. I know I was handling applications that I was looking at 10 conversions, like sure conversions. I ended up having just one. And it was hard to see how we could rise from that point. And somehow we came back out. And banking policies changed over the years. Somehow we bounced back again. It was inspiring to see that even though the university say, okay, we're no longer accepting students, somehow Nigerian students will find a way. And that is one of the things that keeps me focused in the market, that even though I get tired, and we both know, even as a rep and as a business owner now, there are days when you wake up and you're like, who sent me? And you just get a call, and one student is like, I just got my results. The grades I was expecting, they're higher than I expected.
Oh, yeah.
So we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Just give us a university, get us an offer, and we can turn around those. We are magicians in a way. We can turn around those offers in a week, and the student is from no plan to
being
visa.
almost there. Yes.
Exactly. So it's that magic that just keeps me going.
What keeps me going on this podcast, I would say, it is that I keep learning every day. I keep learning about the work that we do, and I keep being able to contextualize some of the work that we're doing, because you described the work based on psychology, sociology, and all of that. You described it in terms of knowledge of politics, knowledge of economics, business, finances. How does the money market or the financial market or government policies affect our work? But the one that I haven't heard before is us being a magician, which is a reality in actual sense. So yeah, we wear so many hats in this industry.
If you think about it, we're giving nothing and we turn it to something.
Yeah, we make things happen. All right, so I want us to really start delving into the conversation today, which is around visa challenges. And I think it's better for us to contextualize the conversation so that whoever is listening to this episode can understand where we're coming from. Before we jump into what should be the case, what are some of the challenges, and I'll come to you, Mamadi, what are some of the challenges that you can see in recent times? And in recent times, I'm saying that we should refer to recent last enrollments, 2 enrollments ago, 3 years ago, and all of that. What are some of the challenges that you have seen students facing, counselors facing when advising students when it comes to visa applications, approval rates, or even the processing in recent times? What are some of these challenges, and why do you think they exist?
Okay, so too many things are changing too quickly, and it's very difficult to should I put a lead on it, so to speak, or have a grasp on it. It's so many things. Every day you wake up, it's one thing or the other. It's either it's policies from the UK itself, or it's policies in country that makes it difficult for the students to go ahead and do things. We've seen situations some years back where the Nigerian government decided that there was a policy that they put in place where the student couldn't pay more than $2,005 every other time. There's always problems. But the only thing I would say is this: challenges will come. And it's how you put your foot forward and handle it that matters. I lived by a saying for a long time: don't dwell on the problem, think of the solution. I'm sorry, but I got this from Paul Adefarasin a long time ago. And I realized that dealing with my life that way has helped in any way, in any situation, whether it's personal life, whether it's work life, whether it's children, family, friends, whatever the case might be. And that's how I'm dealing with these things. Visa issues will always exist. Let's be sure. Let's be clear on that. They will always exist because there will always be issues. It depends on how you see it, what you have, the tools you have at hand to deal with these things that would decide
or determine
where it's going. Yes, or determine, thank you, where it will land. I'll give you a scenario if you don't mind. Right now, my university has 6 intakes: January, March, May, July, September, November.
Literally every other month.
Basically every 2 months. Now, most of our students, either if they have issues in September, you have the option of November. If you have a problem in November, you have the option of so on and so forth. It looks like a good thing, because if my student is still waiting, which I have some of them, that are still waiting for a visa decision for a January start, I can just tell them, you know what, March is around the corner. Just defer till that. It seems like a good thing, but what about the people that originally wanted March? How much time do we have to handle these kinds of situation? Then you see situations like what you mentioned at the beginning of students. Another scenario, putting in their visas for January in November and still don't have a decision till date. It makes no sense. And then luckily for someone like my university, I can say, don't worry, when you get it in March. But how do we counter these things?
Yeah.
The UKVI sends a message and says things like, you can ask, actually, we're telling the universities to, along the lines of, we're telling the universities that they can extend deadlines.
Enrollment dates.
Yes, enrollment dates. But the university is an entity.
Yeah.
You can't decide what we do with our timing, especially with someone like myself, who I said has 2 months intervals between each intake. Because if you think about it, our deadline is 9th of February. You're telling me to extend it into 16th. What happens to the March people that are coming in?
Yeah.
So that is so much stress.
The thing is, even for institutions that are not like yours, where you probably have September intake
January,
alone,
worst
and
case
you probably
scenario.
have September and January. If you have a September entry and students are supposed to go in September, universities most of the time cannot extend more than like 3 weeks.
No.
And they would probably, if it's they can extend till like mid-October or like even late October, even if that's the case.
If worst
But
case
what we've
scenario.
experienced is that people are applying as early as like July, and they're still waiting
On
in
visas.
November. They're still
Yes.
waiting till that time.
Yeah.
You know, I just want us to really, try and address some of the challenges. There is that extent of the delays. The delays is one thing. The fact that students apply and they don't get the feedback until after like 2 months, 3 months in some cases. What originally is said to take 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 15 working days or something.
And if you don't mind my interjecting, this is becoming almost like an obvious push towards super priority and priority visas.
Yeah.
I am an
Which
average.
costs a lot of money.
I was even gonna lay the things, all our cards on the table and say, see, I'm an average student. I want to better my life. I want to go for a master's. I have saved up XYZ amount of money and I have it in place. Now, what I have put in place is for me to do my school, be done, come back and do something with my life. And then you're giving me extra expenses and telling me, oh, you have to pay for super priority. Are you going to give me the money? It might seem small, but it's not. And let's be honest, when you come to British people, they count every penny.
True.
So if you can count your pennies, do you think
I
I'm
need
not
to count
counting
my penny as well.
I'm counting my pennies as well. So what are you telling me exactly? That I am your money-making machine? So
Period.
that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm going to come to you now, Margaret. I see that you're already like lost in thoughts because it's like because we deal with this every day. We deal with this. I've read people's LinkedIn posts and it makes me very sad because it's one thing to go out there, market universities around the world and talk about Canadian university like it's your father's business. Talk about American university like you have a stake in it. And then market UK university as if,
That's your surname.
that's your surname, right? And then at the end of the day, you fight tooth, thick and thin. We say, oh, let's not compete, let's collaborate. We do our best, we meet our fairs, we organize open days, we do all these things. You get a few students, you put in the application, ensure that, we're so knowledgeable in this thing. We have been in this industry for so long. We know, we can do visa application.
Asleep.
Almost asleep,
With my eyes closed.
But at the end of the day, the students are being scheduled for interviews at a date that is after
their
the
deadline.
latest enrollment date. At the end of the day, they still probably don't get the visa, or they get the visa at the time when they can't travel.
Yeah.
Now, Margaret, I'm going to come to you with this question.
Yes,
how has this reality or these multiple realities been affecting the work that we do as international student recruiters? And you are coming from an agency side of things, but you also have the experience as a former university representative. So if you can capture that, but focusing more on the agent side of things, which is now where we stand.
Yeah, but allow me to start like this. We all saw what happened in 2021 towards 2024 in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
The moment they reintroduced the graduate route option, the numbers spiked.
Yes.
Spike is not even a word that
Soared.
encapsulates
Skyrocketed.
what happened. Exactly. And people, universities that used to cater to 15,000 students now had to cater for 65,000 students. It is the UK's prerogative. I'm going to sound like the devil's advocate here, just briefly, but it is the UK's prerogative to go back to the drawing board every now and then.
True.
To say, how do we best cater to the students who are coming? I promise you, this thing is not targeted. It's not targeted at African students. It's not targeted at a particular demographic of students. Exactly. It is their own responsibility to say, how does this affect us? I'm not going to go into all the real estate, food shortages, NHS
accommodation challenges.
Exactly.
NHS.
They had to do this to ensure that, is this something we can sustain long term?
Yeah.
Because about 55% of the students who went then are not coming back.
Okay.
So that's shortage of housing, shortage of all kinds of amenities. So they are looking at a way to manage those numbers.
Yeah.
While we as agents, we also need to start thinking critically, not just emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are not targeted. Please, if you're out there, we are not targeted. But I understand where this is coming from, and we have to constantly shift our position to fit the market we are living in. One, we are looking at 2022, we're looking at the UK was a very good place. You can go and study, you can go and work, you can. Now, people are now asking bigger, deeper questions. So as an agent, it's affecting you knowledge-wise, it's affecting you financially, it's affecting you in terms of your own reputation. Because you've made promises. Once we put in this thing, you can get your offer in so and so time. Or once we've been able to help you pay your tuition, once we put your documents together, there's a way we even put it together. We will impress the ECO, you will get your visa. And then 4 months down the line, you're still waiting for that visa. So the student is already banking on your own promises that visa is a sure thing.
Yeah.
But 4 months down the line, is it sure? Are you sure you didn't make a mistake? Did you prepare me? Didn't you prepare me for the interview? Did I say something wrong? And that is minus the conversation on how much money is still sitting in the bank, how much money is in the bank statements and stuff. So it is affecting us in so many ways.
Yeah.
Now we have to make sure that what we are promising, we can deliver on it.
But how can you promise?
Sorry, let me just quickly say something about this that I just remembered about agents and agencies. As far back as 2012, 2016, do you know that the embassy had such a good relationship with agents to the point where on their forms they actually have, were you helped or assisted by an agent? And if you are a reputable agent or you are a well-recognized one, they would say you should put a letter alongside that thing.
The application.
And it's almost like when they just see a certain name of an agency, they'll be like, oh, we know them, don't worry.
Because they know that person has already invested time
why
into
stop
guiding.
something good? If it's not broke, why fix it? That's what I'm just asking.
And the question I also even wanted to ask is about, like, when Margaret was talking about promises, and you talked about the fact that agencies have done what they're supposed to do, but 4 months down the line, the student has to. How do you make promises on something that is totally outside of your jurisdiction? Because you've told them that, okay, this is what the website says. The visa is going to be processed within 15 days. And sometimes we say, okay, give it a grace of 1 extra week, 2 extra week. But that means a month and a week, so to say. But why wait for like three months? And I love what you said when you started by like you said, being the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
What I think I have an issue with is communication. Because once communication becomes missing, then it makes the good people look bad and the bad people look fair. If there's
the word you're looking for, if you don't mind my saying, is inefficient.
Inefficient. So the reason why I'm saying this, Mama D, is that it's okay we know that policies will continue to change. Once you've set a standard and you say, oh, in the next 3 years, we want to recruit 100,000 international students. You meet that target in 1 year. You go back to the drawing board. If you want to reduce that, put a quota on universities. Do not make it be at the point of visa application that students don't even know what is happening to them. They are being scheduled for an interview and the interviewer doesn't show up for the interview. And then at the end of the day, they have to pay to send emails. They have to pay to do every single thing. and every single money is, like you say, they're counting this money.
Exactly.
What they should have used to even continue their life. And this is not just a particular country. And I want us to try and balance it a little bit more. You know, it's not just a particular country. Some country puts a complete ban and say, we don't want international students for this time.
Exactly.
At that point,
You
good,
know.
bad as a bad.
Exactly.
It's better to
You
know.
know that the students
Exactly.
are not at that point welcomed.
Yes.
They begin to shift their focus to other places. They manage their expectations. But not when students have invested time and money, parents have invested resources and all of these things, and only for them to await visa. And in some cases, they get this visa, they don't allow them fly.
I saw.
What can, no, I mean.
That was the scenario we saw sometime
September
last year, where we got students complaining that they got their visas. They've done everything from point A to Z, gotten their visas, packed their baggages, got to the airport and were
You can't
refused
boarding.
flying.
And
Where does that make sense?
that's a
Please
grey
make it
area.
make sense.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's
It's
a grey
okay.
area. They don't have a visa refusal.
Yes.
Technically, there's no visa
So
refusal.
why refuse me from boarding? You should
Do
have
you
refused
understand?
me at the
Yeah.
point.
Okay, so let's now begin to bring this back and say you mentioned something earlier around how names of agencies, for example, can be in and we're talking about all those things. The gray area, somebody would understand what's happening there. Because I remember that there was a conversation that we were having, and for example, they said, oh, it was UKVI. Oh, they said, oh, it's not UKVI. Oh, it's UKBA. But how can UKBA come to another country and then stop someone from flying? Like, make it make sense. Like, I don't understand. And you say it's a gray area, but who explains this thing? So the question is, and I'm going to let you guys, both of you, speak maybe quickly because of time, and I
Yeah,
still
that's
want us
fine.
to get to a point. What are the roles of organizations like the British Council, the Education USA, Education in Ireland, Campus France, all these different organizations? What are the roles that they can play? Because we used to have a bit more input from this kind of organizations. What are some of the roles that they can play? And I'll start with you, Margaret, so that Mamadi can then add to it.
Right now, their roles should be more crucial than if it has ever been before. They shouldn't just be information desks. We shouldn't just go to them to gather information or get information. They should actually be, okay, this is where data works best. This particular scenario we are in now, where we're having a huge number of students who are waiting visa or getting interview dates later than their start dates.
Yeah.
This is the time to start collating that information. We should be able to go to British Council and say, it's no longer enough to just sit in country and pass information and say, oh, there's this new policy change. Join us in this webinar to get more information. You should now be the bridge between us and the UK government, saying, these are the numbers. This is an unprecedented amount of applications at such a time where it is crucial for both the Nigerian market and the UK market and the UK universities to start looking at it critically.
Yeah.
It's not just money on both sides. It's not just who is receiving the money. Someone is bearing the cost of these things.
Absolutely.
And one of you should be able to either what's the name? The High Commission, Deputy High Commission and the High Commission should actually come together with either Beulah or UKISA, come together and say, this is what has been happening. I mean, we're not sitting in the House of Lords. We don't keep track of their policy changes. We only hear it after the fact. So we might as well have somebody tell us, this is how it affects you. This is what we can help you do. And in the event that this doesn't work, this is how you can seek recourse. That recourse is going to be a bigger conversation because, like Mama D said, they are paying super priority fees. They are paying priority fees. We understand that a visa application fee is administrative. Those are administrative fees. We may not be able to get our money back on that. Exactly. But those extra monies that are being paid, how do we get them back? How do we seek recourse for those?
Okay, so I'm going to let Mama D speak
Mm-hmm.
because I mean this conversation. I think this episode is supposed to be.
It's supposed to be like 3 hours.
But we try our best
Yes,
to keep
to
it
put it-
short.
yes,
And so,
yes,
Mama D,
yes,
let
yes.
me let you maybe just
So
speak
I won't
briefly
say
about
too
this.
much, just to add to what she said, and the truth of the matter comes back to the word you use, communication.
Yeah.
Now, the truth is this: the high commissions of every country is situated in every country. Yeah. So if we have the British High Commission here, we have the Canadian High Commission, we have the American High Commission. What will it take to have data concerning your country's representatives, in-country representatives? If I call myself a representative of a university, I believe that there should be an acknowledgement of some sort.
Yeah.
Aside from British Council, because let's call it spade a spade. There's a limitation to what British Council can actually do.
Yes.
We're talking about the
And-
embassy. The problem we
Yeah.
have now is visas.
Yes.
Not British Council
Absolutely.
related situations. So, what would it take for us to have an audience with the High Commission for Britain, for Canada, for the US? Hello, we can do this thing once a year. It's not a big
Yeah.
deal. Just one representative. You are aware that universities are represented here in this country. What will it take you to just have one day and say we would like to invite? Send the messages to the UK universities and let them send them down to us.
Yeah.
And then we put face to name, or we have a face, the face of Coventry, the face of this face of that. It's here. That's how I see it.
And the thing I wanted to say, just mentioning when Margaret was speaking, is that there are still some countries that, if we're going to be very honest, they continue to support. And I love the fact that you mentioned the British Council, for example. The British Council continues to organize platforms. You know, you have this event and they invite reps and invite counsellors and all that, alumni, and then they bring maybe someone from the UKVI to still answer. At least at some point, we still get a bit of, we still get that opportunity. The truth is that if we're going to be very honest with ourselves, there are still certain countries that recruit a lot of students from these countries that we still experience a high level of apathy from. Like, you don't even know who is responsible for what.
Poland is one.
Sorry?
Poland, because Coventry is situated in Poland as well.
Oh.
So getting a visa, that one is another story. You don't even want to know how difficult that is. There's too many things. It can take between 3 and 6 months getting a visa. So I digress, but you know what I mean.
Okay.
It's still about visas.
Okay, so now that we've already, because we can go on and talk about these challenges that we continue to face, but the next question I want to ask is, in an ideal world, what do you think will be the case in terms of how visas are being processed, how communications are being made, and how government or organizations that we were talking about can step in to ensure that people have the information they need and that they get the results that they deserve?
I like the fact that you said ideal world.
Yes.
Because ideal world means fantasy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and I deliberately chose that word because I feel like this podcast, for example, started from an ideal thought. You know, the idea of we need something like this. We're here.
Yeah.
So the ideal world is not something that we might get there tomorrow. We might not.
Yeah.
But let's visualize. Let's try and put some thoughts to it.
I believe most things in this life are doable.
Yes.
That's what I see. I think most things are doable. It now depends on the ones who are oiling the wheels. Are they ready? Are they susceptible? Are they okay with actually putting these things in place?
Yeah.
We can talk around a whole lot of things.
We can.
And it just depends on who is listening, who is accepting, and then who is taking actions.
Absolutely. That's
Because listening does not immediately mean taking action.
Absolutely.
They would listen. It's almost like I'm sorry, but the psychologist in me is coming out. We listen, we do
love
not
it.
judge.
We listen,
We don't
judge.
we judge you privately.
We just go.
We roll our eyes, though.
Yes,
We judge you privately.
It's just that thing of most of the time it's an internal response
Yeah.
that is required, because Most of them also, to be fair, most of them have to answer to some other person, to some other person, to
Yeah.
other people. There's too many cogs in the wheel, so to
Yeah.
speak, that would so the ones that actually are sent to listen to us, they do just that. They listen, they take back what they've heard. They are probably asked the same question you just did. How can we make this happen? They tell them, and then that person says, we'll come back to you. And it probably gets lost in translation. So there's a different thing between listening and actually actioning the things. So to answer the question directly and say, what would be the best thing? I think this thing should be as easy as it was before. Honestly, the best time I've ever had since I've been in this education industry was 2007 when they destroyed the policy when, you guys don't even want to know how we used to do visas. You have to go and bring C of O, MOU. This one, you bring documents this big. You have to have landed property. Somebody has to stand as shorty. You see daddy's file. It's dusty as heck. And then you just have to look through all these things. And this is you. And then you see two people coming and you know that they're waiting for you. And they're like, hey, Jesus. Oh, my goodness. And then you have to look through all the landed property. Is this good enough? Is it in a good area? Does it cover for the fees and everything? And then we thank God when we saw the 40 points based system. It was wonderful. It was just like, all I needed to do was take my sticky notes and just say, oh, this is this and this is that. And then the next thing we saw, crises. Okay, even better. That means the school is taking responsibility. We're getting, so things were coming. However, that is the process. It is what comes before and after the process that is now a problem. You go through applications, you get your offer. When you've gotten your offer, you pay your deposit. You do a credibility interview. Students are already daunted by that. They feel that, and you're trying to put them at ease. Don't worry, it's almost like a conversation. They're just wanting to get to know you. You pass the credibility interview. You pay, if it's required, you pay whatever you're supposed to do to get your cars. You get your cars. You feel like, oh, I'm good now. Then you get your visa filled. You pay your fees, and then you're waiting for visa, which is where we are now. As far as I'm concerned, that is the only cog in the wheel right now. And that cog in the wheel, we need to know why. That why is not coming out. So we can't say anything about an ideal world because this
Without
is already, this is already an ideal
process
plan.
Is already working.
It's an ideal plan.
It's just
so
at that
what
point.
is the problem? Can you tell us so that if it's something we can handle, then we can sort it out as a university, as a company, whatever the case is. Because whether you're like, I don't know if you guys are going through what me have been going through when it comes to students.
We all dealing with it.
Students sent me a message, oh, madam, I don't think you're authentic.
Hey, God.
Yes,
God,
because I told them one thing and
God.
swear in the night. You
but
will deceive
but
me.
to be very honest, and that's what I was saying earlier when I said that it makes the good people look bad.
Yeah.
Because you've done the work, but the students are putting the money and our industry is built on trust.
We're making money to do something good with the money.
Yeah, so they're putting their resources, their own is, I want to get to the university. You're guiding me. You told me to pay initial deposit. I've paid. I've applied for visa, and it's not a cheap money. It's not cheap to apply for visa. It keeps going up. Apart from that, they, for example, will pay health surcharge, pay this one, do test, do this thing. And at the end of the day, they are waiting for the visa to come out, and then it's like you haven't even submitted it at all, or you don't know what you're doing.
Imagine that being for an undergraduate student paying for 4 years of
I'm going to ask you one question so that you can respond to that and then use that question to...
No, but let me say something. The cog in the wheel you mentioned, there are bigger wheels and then there are tiny little wheels in between. We've gotten through most of it, like she said. There's a timeline and there's a process to putting in all these applications and getting to visas. But somewhere between 2001, 2004, things shifted in the finance
2001
market. I mean, 2021.
Okay.
2021.
I was like, Margaret, 2001. Girl.
I mixed my years around. Sorry. Okay. All right. So 2021 and 2024, things shifted. a lot of things.
Yeah.
We now have such a proliferation of agents that have no training, no information. There is it's an insane amount of misinformation.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe because I'm on Instagram, our business is on Instagram, and for some reason I keep either looking
tend to
at
see.
yes, I
Yeah.
see some ads and I'm like, in this same industry.
And that's a good thing. Let me use that to then ask my question.
Go ahead.
My question now is, let's take it home. All right. In an ideal world, yes, I know some of these responsibilities are in, and we've already mentioned it. We don't need to sound like a broken record on that one about what the governments, like the governments of these different countries, or what the embassies and all that can do, because from the conversation that we have, everybody can pick their own side of the of the convo, you know. But my question is about us, the representatives, the counsellors. What can we begin to do to either prepare ourselves for some of these shocks, but also to prepare the students that we're working with in order to ensure that we at least can achieve some high level of positive results?
I still think one of it is information, getting correct information. Communication. The schools are doing the most that they can.
Yeah.
Anytime there's a change in policy, they're very upfront about it. What I will fault the schools mostly for not doing is having some kind of a social media marketing arm where they can spell out, this is the change. This is how it affects you. This is what we can help you do. They leave it mostly to the reps.
Do you mean designated or like on their own, on the main website?
On their own,
pages?
not on their website, on their social media pages. And the reason why I would pinpoint social media is we now have, again, a proliferation of half-baked information. Join me one day as a student in University of Windsor. Join me as I prepare to leave, and then they give you information that pertains only to their own situation.
Yeah.
But because you are out there, many people think, okay, this is the way it is. And then they follow that same thing. So you as an agent...
Sometimes it's laced in privilege.
Exactly. You as an agent, you are trying very hard to tell the student, that only worked for her. It may not work for you.
True.
Yes, but the bank statement you're bringing does not measure up to what she has. So we need to sit down and work together to know what are your end goals. Beyond university, are you looking at something else?
Yeah.
Yes. So you don't just say, oh, join me as a one day in the life of a Nigerian student living in University of Leicester. No, it doesn't work that way. We need to put your own documents together so that we can. But if you are an agent that doesn't have the information, you don't have the training, you are also depending on other agents. So which one has which offer can I get now? It's no longer like that anymore. You now need to be upfront about the information you need to get.
I love what you've said, and I'll summarize it in 2 points, and I think these 2 points are very important to everybody. The first is upskilling. If you're a counselor, if you're an agency, or whoever you are, even for those who are in schools, you need to upskill. You need to be knowledgeable, because you cannot teach what you don't know. So you have to upskill yourself, know what's changing, and be able to predict. I think then, and I'm just adding that.
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think because if you are in this industry for a long time, you would understand that prediction is very important.
Yeah.
You need to be able to evaluate certain situation, analyze situation to the point that you can say, okay, this has happened before. This would potentially lead to this. But now we have this policy in Ghana or in Kenya, so this might impact it, meaning that this is potentially what it would lead to.
Exactly.
So being able to predict based on available data and intelligence, I think is very important. Yeah. The second thing, and is what we have been talking about communication and making good information available. And you talked about using social media. So universities need to leverage the materials and resources that they have to be able to communicate well. Yes. Did I capture your point well?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Mama D, I'm going to ask you a similar question, But I also don't want us to leave out the students and their parents in this conversation because, as we said,
That's the most important part
so
of
what can they do? What would be like an advice that you would give to students applying, or their parents or their guardians, in preparation for study abroad, especially when it comes to visa processing?
For me, I think most of the students and the guardians, they're really prepared, because for them to come to you as a representative of a university, representative of an agency, whatever this case might be, they came to you because they know they require your assistance or your help. So these students and their parents or guardians already are on the right path, which is, I have come to you, I'm seeking you, and this is what I want. Now, to be honest, the onus falls on us still, as a person and as a rep of a bigger body, to guide and to be careful with our wording when we speak to these people. Because whether you like it or not, right now, you are the pastor in front of the pulpit.
Yeah.
You are preaching, and every word you say is yea and amen. So you have to now be guarded in your own words and how you portray every situation to them. Please pardon me, I've said so many scenarios. But that's the truth of the life we live in. So you would see situations where you've told the student has gone, like I said earlier, all the way, gets to this visa. This student has never said anything contrary. It's always been, yes, ma, thank you, ma, go ahead, ma, yes, ma, thank you, ma, go ahead, ma. And then it gets to visa, the student has put it in, and then, ma, I've still not heard anything. Ma, I still not heard anything. Ma, you're not responding. Ma, you're not replying. Ma, what's going on? Ma. It becomes a tune. Because guess what? Let's call a spade a spade. We need to realize that we're human first before we are
intelligent creatures.
Thank you. Because we came as babies going goo goo gaga. Hopefully we'll go as adults going goo goo gaga.
I hope so.
So the truth is, whether we like it or not, we are learning. We are human. To err is human, to forgive divine. But these students will not forgive you if you mess up. But it's not even you that messed up. It is not in your power. That's why we're having this kinds of forum to discuss how do we meet with these people. I will not sit down here and patronize either the work we do, the students, the guardians, and the parents. The truth of the matter is, this buck stops with the embassies.
Yeah.
They need to listen to us. They need to hear our cry. We can't keep begging you for something we are paying for. Imagine me going to the market to get this dress, and I'm the one begging you to give me the dress I've paid. It makes no sense to me. So we need to call a spade, and I will play the devil's advocate against and say they need to sit up.
True.
They need to pull their trousers up. They need to tell us what the heck is going on. Just lay it on the table for us. We're Nigerians. We'll be resilient. I'm not talking about just Nigerians, but we're Africans. Let's call it a spade. We are resilient. We will be fine.
Yeah.
We will be fine. Just tell us.
And I think for me, it's very important for me to be able to manage expectations. If there's anything that I always love in this life, is knowing what the cards are on my table.
Tell me.
Like, let me know.
Rip off the bandage.
Yes.
I'm not
Just
doing
let
that
me
play
know.
around thing. Just tell me.
Don't tell me that you want me to bring students, and then I bring students, and then they are not allowed to go.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
You're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes. So let's know, communicate. Let us know so that we know what we're going for. So that I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, but I want to add something.
Add it.
Part of the buck should stop at the universities as well. The investment is theirs. So if you are expecting a sizable investment, you do everything to make sure that investment comes in.
Yeah.
Yes. So part of the buck stops with them.
But-
They
but
too
Don't
should-
forget they are governed by their government.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
They
but-
have to still.
It's the
And
same.
if you speak to the compliance team in many institutions,
They'll be
they
like,
will still escalate.
They will still escalate.
And at the end of the day, they'll come back and say, "Oh yeah, we can't control this," which is the reality.
Yes.
Do you understand?
But
So
they have liaison officers with government
yeah,
parastatals in their own country where they can present their own case to the to the government,
to the government,
saying,
yes.
this is how much investment we've had over the years. We are seeing that it is constantly dwindling.
Exactly.
And we're at risk of not just license, we're at risk of losing everything.
Okay, thank you. And I agree with you because, yes, they have an important role to play. Institutions have an important role to play. They are stakeholders in this entire decision making and whatever. They contribute to it. And so they need to also step up in doing this more, not only as individual institution, and I love what you said, Margaret, not just as individual institutions, but as a coalition. So, and you started off by talking about associations like Beulah and the NAFSAs, the UKISA, for example.
And possibly in the future time.
And of course, yes, we will continue to do our best. We will continue to do our best. And for example, this is an example of what we're also trying to do. Having this kind of conversation is going to be out there, and everybody pick your own part of this and choose it and do your part. But hopefully we will also be able to facilitate some of the conversations that you talked about in earlier when you talked about like embassies having those kind of meetings. Hopefully we will get there and then we'll be able to facilitate such.
Big amen to that.
All right, so I'm going to ask us to round off now because our time, we can go on and on.
We
and on.
wish
The
we had
challenge-
more time.
Yes.
Next time you need to book us for more time.
All right, so I'm just going to ask you in one word. Pick any of the stakeholders. Could be the students, could be the parents, could be the counsellors, could be the university representatives, could be the government, could be the embassies or whatever. Pick one of these stakeholders and give one advice to them. One. Who wants to go first?
The fight is many on many fronts.
That's why I said you.
On many fronts.
Yeah.
If I want to say something now, say it to the government. We need better diplomatic representations for these things because the majority of this conversation is diplomatic. There's a limit to how much work we can do. There's a limit to how much posturing as agents we can do.
Yeah.
There's a point where it stops being about agents. It now starts becoming diplomatic. Yeah. So, over the years, they've eaten our super priority money, our priority
money.
They have chopped our eye. Government.
They have chopper. What is
They have
Jojua?
chopped, yeah.
It's
So
okay.
government should actually step in and say, I don't know which of the countries, I think Zimbabwe or Zambia, they approached the EU countries, the embassies based in their country and said, if you give us a visa refusal, please give us a refund. Yes, it was in the news recently. And that was when I learned that those are administrative fees, that they cannot refund it. But the government is like, so what was the point of taking the fees when you know the person wouldn't meet the requirements to be in your country? Plus, there are several biases around all of those things. We've seen the matrix. We're not going to reveal that, but we've seen the matrix. So if you are going to have that kind of matrix, you already know who can and who can't. Yes, so the government should step in diplomatically on this.
Thank you.
I was going to pick the government as well. And the reason why I was going to pick them, I'm not nice. Okay, let me see something else that I could say. I'm struggling to remember, Louis, help. There is a country that is known for receiving applications without payment. And then when they want to give you a visa, that's when you pay. But the price, I think it's India or Pakistan. I'm failing to remember now, and it's paining me. Don't want to use another word. So there's a country where you send your application in, and then when they want to give you the visa, you pay, that's when you submit your passport, because they are trying to do something there. Let me tell you what they're doing. They are seeing your application. This one not work. Please put it that way. And then send them an email. Sorry, we're not giving you a visa. And however, if we're going to give you a visa, sorry, you're going to be hello, congratulations, your visa will be awarded. Please pay the amount of XYZ and include your receipt. I'm still trying to remember. Include your receipt in your passport and send to this place. You pay for your DHL, you pay for everything. It comes to almost $800. To me, I think that's money well spent.
Yes.
As opposed to other things that we've seen where
a lot of people
cause controversy.
A whole lot of people pay this thing and then it goes.
That's it. And then when it comes to the government, plenty talk.
Okay.
So let's just leave it at God bless us.
God bless us. God bless Africa.
God bless us indeed. And God bless the representatives of all these students,
Yes.
guardians, and parents.
Excellent.
Can I just quickly say, if you are listening, parents and guardians, and my students, please be nice to us. Be calm. We're not the entity. We're just messengers. Don't shoot the messenger. We'll do our best for you. However, just listen to us. Help us understand where we stand, because we're human first before we are anything else. That's the advice I would give.
Thank you very, very much. Eh?
Should I give my own advice?
Give the advice.
Please do your research.
Do your research.
Do your research.
Thank you very, very much for that.
you
And
for having
I
us.
think that's a very good way, giving the advice, I think is a really good way to capture the conversations that we've been having. And I'm just going to, just draw on a few things that I thought came out strongly, or if I may say, maybe a bit of my own advice as well. For the student, I will say, like you said, make as much research as possible, find out what is available to you, and do as much research as possible. Apply early, make your decisions early. The African market is usually categorized as a late market. There are some
Fire brigade approach is not welcome.
Yeah,
Please.
there are some contributory factors to that, but please try your best to make decisions on time, submit applications on time. And if you are choosing an agent, please do your research as well. Work with a good agent, someone that knows what they are
vetted
doing,
agent.
vet them, you understand, and do that. Then ultimately, universities need to improve on how they communicate. Agencies need to ensure that students have the right information. Embassies need to sit up, like you said. They need to also do what they should
Their
do.
due diligence.
Ensure that they are listening to the people and they are really providing the information from time to time. Government also need to be accountable. Everybody, because at the end of the day, we're a factor, we're the result of our actions and our inactions. Thank you very much,
Thank you
everybody.
for having
Both
us.
of you for such a brilliant conversation. And so everybody, that has been such a fantastic conversation. It is one that we can spend a long time talking about. We can go on, and we had to cut, some of these challenges and issues short because of time. And this is something that will continue. The conversation will carry on. Also think about the fact that these students applying, who are paying all this money, are really, really investing so much of their time, their resources, and their future plans into these decisions. So please think about them. Consider them as humans and not just figures in your books. Think about the impact that this makes on them. And please let us endeavor to do right. Till next time when I shall come again, my name is Louis Adekola, and I am the host of TINE Africa, the new sound of international education in Africa. But please do not forget to give us a like on this episode and other episodes as well. Give us a follow, subscribe to this channel, comment and comment and comment. Please let us know what you're thinking. Are you a student who have experienced this? Are you an agent, counselor, school counselor, university rep? Parents, let us know what you're going through or what you've experienced. Also, please feel free to send us an email showing on the screen right now. It's podcast@tineafrica.com, and we'll be very happy to take your this conversation forward. Till next time when we shall come again. Again, my name is Louis Adekola, and this is the new sound of international education in Africa. Goodbye.
Bye.